There's a dark secret in the automotive industry, a secret that's hiding in plain sight on the gleaming dealership lots across America. They are not sales lots. They have become cemeteries. Cemeteries of metal, glass, and broken dreams, where $100,000, $200,000 vehicles languish under the sun, forgotten and unwanted. While executives on Wall Street earnings calls celebrate record sales and robust demand, the reality on the ground is a silent nightmare. Certain models from brands you know and perhaps even desire have been sitting stationary for 300, 400, and an unbelievable 500 days. Desperate salespeople can't even get someone to agree to a test drive, even after offering discounts that would make anyone weep. This isn't just a slow month. It's not a seasonal fluctuation. It's a full-scale inventory crisis, a silent financial hemorrhage that threatens the very existence of iconic brands. We're talking about models so toxic to the market that dealerships are slashing $20,000, $30,000, even $40,000 off the sticker price, and the result is a deafening silence. And what's most shocking? We aren't talking about budget-friendly economy cars. We're talking about the flagships, $160,000 luxury sedans, state-of-the-art performance SUVs, and the new promising electric vehicles, cars that on paper should be the most desired on the planet, but have become invisible to consumers. The numbers don't lie, and they tell a story of rejection so severe that it's sending waves of panic through boardrooms from Munich to Detroit. As a BMW salesperson in Chicago anonymously confessed to us, "We have cars that have been sitting for so long they've become radioactive." In this video, we're going to tear back the veil of marketing and expose the brutal truth that the traditional automotive media often ignores. Using a powerful metric that automakers fear, days of supply, we will reveal the 11 cars that dealerships simply cannot sell in 2025. Before we dive into the list, you need to understand the weapon we're using to expose this truth. It's called market day supply. It's simple, but brutally honest. This number indicates how many days it would take for a dealership to sell its entire inventory of a specific model if sales continued at the current pace and the factory stopped production today. Think of it like the expiration date on a product on a supermarket shelf. A healthy inventory, where cars move in and out at a good rhythm, is between 45 and 60 days. When this number surpasses 100 days, managers start to sweat. Above 200 days, it's a red flag, an indication that there is a fundamental problem with the product, the price, or the market's perception. The cars we're about to list, they aren't in the 200-day zone. They are in a stratosphere of failure, with numbers reaching 300, 400, and even nearly 600 days of supply. This means there's enough inventory sitting around for almost 2 years of sales. It's a complete disaster. This metric is crucial because it cuts through the marketing noise. A manufacturer can issue a press release talking about strong interest, but if the cars are sitting for 400 days, that's a lie. The days of supply are the voice of the consumer, and that voice is screaming no for the models we're about to see. This isn't just any list, it's a financial survival guide. Because the cars rotting on dealer lots today are the depreciation time bombs of tomorrow, and one of them might be on your shopping list. BMW 5 Series. First on our list is a car whose failure is perhaps the most shocking of all, because it represents the fall of a king. This is the BMW 5 Series. For decades, this wasn't just a car, it was the car, the benchmark, the sports sedan that all others tried to imitate, the car that perfectly balanced luxury, comfort, and the pure joy of driving. Today, with a shocking 387 days of supply, the 5 Series is a shadow of its former self. It's a king in exile. What happened? BMW, in its relentless pursuit of technology and a broader audience, committed a cardinal sin. It forgot its soul. The new 5 Series prioritized giant screens, gadgets, and a cocoon-like isolation over the visceral connection between the driver and the road that defined the brand. In doing so, BMW achieved the unthinkable. It alienated its loyal fan base, the enthusiasts who built the brand, and at the same time failed to steal customers from Mercedes and Lexus, who seek a more opulent and less complicated luxury. The result is a technically brilliant car, but one without a clear audience. And to make matters worse, a series of recent recalls involving critical systems like steering and brakes have tarnished its reputation for bulletproof engineering. The king was dethroned not by a rival, but by its own identity crisis. Jeep Grand Wagoneer L. This crisis of identity isn't unique to BMW. Another brand that stretched its image too far is Jeep, which tried to take a bold leap into the Olympus of automotive luxury with the Grand Wagoneer L, a $110,000 SUV designed to fight giants like the Cadillac Escalade and the Lincoln Navigator. The result? A spectacular failure. With 336 days of supply, the Grand Wagoneer has become the equivalent of an overpriced mansion that has been on the market for years. Everyone assumes something must be fundamentally wrong, and there is. The problem is the badge on the hood. The Jeep brand is synonymous with adventure, trails, trail-rated robustness. This image, which is an asset for a Wrangler, becomes a liability, a disadvantage when you try to sell a vehicle at the same price as a Range Rover. The luxury buyer doesn't want robustness, they want prestige, and a six-figure Jeep for them simply does not compute. To add insult to injury, the vehicle is a gas guzzler, with an average of 14 miles per gallon. This means almost $4,000 per year in gasoline alone. Even wealthy buyers have a limit to their inconvenience. As a salesperson from Ohio said, customers look at the price, have a laugh, and go buy a German SUV. End of story. Dodge Hornet? But if the Grand Wagoneer is a case of brand overreach, our next vehicle is a case of pure brand laziness and a crisis of identity of another sort. With nearly 13,000 units sitting and gathering dust and 327 days of supply, the Dodge Hornet is not a failure, it's a colossal financial disaster for Stellantis. Dodge, the brand of muscle cars, tried to enter the compact crossover market, but did so in the laziest way possible. The Hornet is, essentially, an Alfa Romeo Tonale with a different badge. And the market, which is much smarter than automakers imagine, noticed it instantly. The question in showrooms was obvious and deadly. Why would I buy a Dodge clone of an Italian car that isn't already selling well? The transparency of the rebadging insulted the consumer's intelligence. Now the desperation is palpable. We are seeing dealerships selling 2023 units, cars that have been on the lot for almost 2 years, for less than $25,000. Think about that, a crossover with 268 horsepower being liquidated for the price of a base Toyota Corolla, and even so, they can't get rid of them. It's a classic case of a product without a soul, and without a clear audience. Maserati Ghibli. Speaking of Italian brands with an identity crisis, we have the Maserati Ghibli. The Trident is a symbol that promises passion, exclusivity, and the glorious sound of a Ferrari-born engine. The Ghibli is the personification of that promise. At least that's the fantasy they sell. The reality, with 525 days of supply, is a financial nightmare. The Ghibli is a master of first impressions. Its design is stunning. The engine's roar is addictive. It seduces you, but the magic shatters the moment you step inside and touch the interior. Many of the button switches and, most glaringly, the entire infotainment system have been ripped straight from the parts bin of Chrysler and Jeep, cars that cost a fraction of its $85,000 price. It's an insult to the intelligence of a luxury buyer, a break of enchantment from which it's impossible to recover. Add to this one of the worst depreciation rates in the entire automotive industry and maintenance costs that can easily run into thousands of dollars a year. The Ghibli is a money pit, a salesperson confessed. People are attracted by the sound, but they flee when they find out that the annual maintenance can cost the same as a down payment on a new car. It's a car for people who want to look rich, not for people who want to stay rich. Fiat 500e. The struggles of Italian brands in the US market continue with our next vehicle, which also introduces another theme of this crisis, the difficult reality of the electric transition. We've reached the most unwanted electric car in America. With an impressive 558 days of supply, the Fiat 500e isn't just sitting, it's invisible. The 500e is the perfect storm of everything an EV buyer doesn't want in 2025. First, the price. At $34,000, it enters the territory of much larger and more capable EVs. Second, the range. Its 149 miles of range are a joke in a market where 300 miles is becoming the standard. This creates constant range anxiety. And third, the size. It's adorable, but dangerously small for American highways, where you share the road with giant pickups and SUVs. Driving it feels like navigating a golf cart in a monster truck rally. A California dealer told us they have units that have been sitting for so long that their 12-volt batteries die and the tires need to be inflated monthly. It's a car designed for the narrow streets of Rome that has completely lost its way in the American market. Jaguar XF, another brand facing an identity shift that has left its current models in limbo, is Jaguar. There was a time when the name evoked images of elegance and British nobility. The Jaguar XF was supposed to be the heir to that lineage. But today, with 315 days of supply, it is not an heir, it is a ghost. The problem isn't just the nearly $60,000 starting price. The fatal blow was delivered by Jaguar itself. The company courageously announced that it will become a 100% electric brand. Great news for the future, but a death sentence for the present. It turned the XF overnight into a technological orphan. Think about the buyer's psychology. Would you commit tens of thousands of dollars to a vehicle from a brand that has already publicly announced it has abandoned it, that is already focused on the next generation of technology? Buyers are responding with a resounding no. A dealer in Florida told us, "We've had the same 3XFs in the showroom since last summer. We've cut $12,000 and people don't even consider them." For the few who already own one, the pain is real and immediate. These cars are depreciating at nearly twice the rate of their German rivals. Mini Cooper hardtop 4-door. From a brand that orphaned its cars to one that simply misjudged its audience, we have the Mini Cooper. The brand tried to solve a puzzle: how to make our iconic, small and charming car more practical for American families. Their answer was to add 2 doors. The market responded with a collective yawn. With 337 days of supply, the Mini Cooper 4-door proved that the solution was not so simple. The result is a car stuck in limbo. It's not as agile and cute as the original 2-door Mini, and it's not nearly as practical as a compact SUV, with which it now competes in price. For almost $40,000 you can buy a Honda CR-V or a Toyota RAV4 that offers double the space, practicality and peace of mind. And here's the kicker: being owned by BMW, the maintenance costs of a Mini can be frighteningly high. One owner reported a $1,200 bill for a minor electrical problem that would have cost $300 on a Japanese competitor. It's the inverted value proposition. You get the repair bills of a German luxury car without the prestige that comes with it. Alfa Romeo Giulia. Another car struggling to find its place is the Alfa Romeo Giulia. The name itself promises passion and soul. And to be fair, the Giulia drives like a dream. It's beautiful and agile. But what happens when passion turns into financial frustration? With 323 days of supply, the Giulia isn't just struggling, it's being completely ignored. Its reputation, fair or not, for mechanical and electrical problems has become an impossible curse to break. When a consumer is about to sign a check for $55,000 or more, the phrase "it probably won't leave you stranded" is not exactly a convincing sales pitch. And then Alfa Romeo committed an act of self-sabotage. They killed the Quadrifoglio version in North America, the 505 horsepower model that was the soul, the beating heart of the entire Giulia line. In the automotive world, when a brand removes its halo model, its hero, it's the equivalent of waving the white flag of surrender. A California dealer summed it up perfectly. People take a test drive, they love it, and then they go and buy a BMW or a Lexus. Nobody wants to take the risk. BMW 7 Series. This brings us back to the epicenter of this crisis. BMW. If the 5 Series is a king in exile, the 7 Series is a monster that scares customers away from the castle. With a catastrophic 517 days of supply, we're talking about almost a year and a half's worth of inventory. This level of rejection for a flagship luxury car is unprecedented. The culprit? In a segment where discreet elegance, prestige, and timeless design are everything, BMW opted for a controversial, divisive, and for many, simply ugly design. The oversized front grille, which has generated countless memes and been nicknamed pig nostrils, and its generally awkward design have proven to be a monumental miscalculation. Even the most loyal BMW customers, who have been buying the 7 Series for generations, are backing away. The luxury sedan market is already shrinking, but the 7 Series is falling off a cliff. A dealer in Illinois told us, in a tone of despair, "We've cut more than $25,000 from the price on some models, and we still can't get serious offers. They are becoming expensive, stationary sculptures on our lot." In its quest to be bold, BMW forgot to be beautiful. BMW XM. If you thought the design of the 7 Series was bad, prepare yourself. The BMW XM, with 544 days of supply, is not just a car, it's a declaration. Unfortunately, the statement it makes is, "I have more money than taste." This $159,000 SUV was supposed to be the definitive showcase of BMW's M division, a high-performance plug-in hybrid. Instead, it has become the symbol of everything wrong with the brand's current design philosophy. It's exaggerated, awkward, and ostentatious in the worst possible way. The sales are a joke. BMW sold only 307 units nationwide in the third quarter of 2024. Some individual dealerships sell more X5s in a single month. These are numbers that would justify immediate discontinuation for any other brand. A former BMW designer who asked to remain anonymous gave us the perfect definition. The XM is the company's midlife crisis transformed into metal. It's what happens when executives ignore designers and demand something that looks aggressive and young, resulting in a caricature. It's less a vehicle and more a $160,000 embarrassment. BMW i7. And this leads us to the ultimate symbol of this entire crisis, the pinnacle of infamy, and the most rejected new car in America. With an unbelievable, catastrophic, historic 578 days of supply, this is the BMW i7. Think about what that number means. almost 2 years of stagnant inventory. If the i7 factory closed today, dealerships would still have cars to sell almost all the way to 2027. It's a product failure on a scale we rarely see. The i7, BMW's electric flagship, fails on all fronts. Its $128,000 price is not justified by a 318-mile range, which is surpassed by Teslas and Lucids that cost tens of thousands less. Its design is even more polarizing than the gasoline-powered 7 Series, which seemed impossible, and its technology, while vast, feels more complicated than innovative. The anonymous confession of a dealership executive is the most terrifying part of this story. We have i7s on the lot that have been there so long, their factory warranties are expiring before they are even sold. Read that again. A car that becomes old and out of warranty before it even finds its first owner. The BMW i7 is not just the most rejected car in America, it's the symbol of a brand in a deep existential crisis, a brand that seems to have completely lost touch with its customers. This list is more than just a market curiosity, it's a symptom of a disease that is spreading through the industry. What we are witnessing is a financial bloodbath. For dealerships, each of these ghost cars is a money pit. They use financing called floor plans to buy the cars from the manufacturers. For every day a car sits, the dealership pays interest. A BMW 7 Series sitting for 517 days can cost the dealer over $14,000 in fees alone. That's pure loss, evaporating into thin air. Multiply that by thousands of vehicles, and you understand the scale of the catastrophe. The two biggest victims in this story are clear. First, BMW, having 4 vehicles, including its flagship sedan, its electric flagship, and its performance SUV, on this rejection list is no coincidence. It's a systemic failure. It's proof that the market's rejection of its new design and product philosophy is real and devastating. Second, the Stellantis Group, with Fiat, Dodge, Jeep, Alfa Romeo, and Maserati all on this list, it's clear there is a deep crisis in several of its brands. Analysts are now openly questioning whether all of them will survive in North America. For the consumers who have already bought these cars, the news is equally bleak. They are discovering that their 1 or 2-year-old vehicles are worth 40 to 50% less than what they paid, trapping them in a cycle of negative equity that will haunt their finances for years. So, what have we learned from this cemetery of luxury cars? We've learned that the myths of the industry have been shattered. The myth that prestige brands are bulletproof, debunked. The myth that the transition to electric cars would be a linear and easy path, debunked. And most importantly, we've learned that the power, more than ever, is in your hands. The days of supply metric doesn't lie. It represents the collective truth of thousands of buyers like you. These aren't just cars that people aren't buying. They are cars that people are actively avoiding after researching, seeing, or driving them. The automotive industry is going through its most dramatic market correction in decades. The rules of the game have changed. And in the midst of this chaos, there is danger, but there is also opportunity. The danger of buying a financial disaster, and the opportunity to use this knowledge to make the smartest, safest choice for you and your family. Navigating this treacherous market is why we created this channel. We are not paid by automakers. Our only loyalty is to you, the consumer. Our mission is to bring you the truth, the hard data, and the analysis you need to avoid becoming a victim of this industry. If you found this dossier valuable, if it opened your eyes to the reality behind the shiny curtains of the dealerships, then I ask you to do one thing: join us. Click that subscribe button below and become part of a community of smart buyers. Ring the notification bell so you never miss an analysis like this, one that could save you tens of thousands of dollars and a lot of headaches. Every week we dive deep, expose the secrets, and provide the tools for you to come out on top. And now I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Which of these 11 cars was the biggest shock to you? Have you had an experience with any of them? Your story and your perspective matter, and they could save another member of our community from making a costly mistake. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, shop smart, and we'll see you in the next video.